Hello and welcome to the 13W01A Snapshot. I'm Mondef, of course, and let's take a look at what Monjang has given to us. A whole slew of new blocks to take a look at. This is the first one. It is called the Nether Quartz Ore. It spawns in the Nether, as its name suggests. We'll come back and look at these in details. This is the weighted pressure plate light, or gold pressure plate, as I will be calling it. This is the weighted pressure plate heavy, or the iron pressure plate, as I will be calling it. This is the daylight sensor, which is named appropriately. This is the block of redstone, also named appropriately. The hopper, my favorite new friend. The redstone comparator, and the trapped chest. Also, of note, there's two new items in the game, the nether brick and nether quartz. So, what are all of these fancy new things? Well, let's start with this guy. This is a new ore. It spawns in the nether. Looks like that. A whole bunch of them next to each other. Look like this. And yeah, you kind of know what an ore is, right? You've been playing Minecraft for a while, so you mine these. You get stuff. The stuff you happen to get is this. Nether quartz. What's nether quartz for? Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later. Alright, the next one. The weighted pressure plate light. Let me get a stack of something here, maybe just grass, for example. Let me also get some redstone. Alright, the weighted pressure plate emits a redstone signal, as you might suggest, as you might expect, but it doesn't do it for everything. For example, if I stand on this, nothing. If a mob stands on this, nothing. Only items. So that's a unique ability in and of itself, to detect items and not players. So that's kind of cool. Also, you can see the only thing glowing right now is just this first block of redstone. It's only emitting a redstone signal 1 block in length, or 1 power redstone. If we throw some more items on here, and I don't pick them up, you can see it continues on. Throw some more power, and more power. How useful is this? I'm not entirely sure, but it's a new feature, and it's in the game. The next one, the pressure plate heavy, or the iron pressure plate, does the exact same thing, except it takes a whole lot more items to get it to emit any more redstone. There you go, finally got it to emit 1 more redstone power. So that's what that does. It's for counting stuff, how useful that is in creative maps and also like adventure maps. I'm sure it's great, but if you can't get the items off of the pressure plate, what's the point of counting them in a survival game? That's my question right now. And until somebody offers me a solution, these are pointless, except that they look cool. Countertops, anyone? Anyway, let's get rid of that. Bloop, bloop. This is the daylight sensor. It does exactly what you expect it to do. It emits redstone signal when there's daylight. Rocket science. Now, even cooler than this, though, is this emits a redstone signal power representative of how daylight it is. So as the daylight sets, the redstone power length will retract. So that's neat. We'll have to do something with that. Let's get rid of, clean that up a little bit. Block of redstone. Block of redstone. Block of redstone is, first of all, a really cool looking red block. So thank you, Monjang, for that. Secondly, it's a solid block that emits redstone signal, which is pretty cool. It emits redstone signal strength 15. So basically, it's like a redstone torch that's a block. Here's something neat about this. I don't need these anymore. It powers pistons, just the way you'd expect them to, and it can be pushed by pistons, and it can be pulled by pistons. I'm sure there are all sorts of crazy and nifty things you can do with that I don't have the time today to figure out, but I'm sure there are going to be some great uses for redstone block. This next one is the hopper. It doesn't have an item texture yet, it just has the work in progress texture holder. Here's an interesting thing about the hopper. The hopper is directional, or more correctly, it's placed like a torch is. So if you place it on the ground, its bottom connects to the ground. If you place it on the wall, the bottom of it connects to the wall. This is important because of the hopper's base functionality. The hopper is for moving items into inventories. So here's an inventory, the chest, right? And here's an item, a piece of redstone dust. Item, inventory. That's what the hopper does. It blows my mind. It's amazing. The comparator is next. The comparator is kind of an interesting block. I understand what it does, I just don't understand why you want it yet. But, you know, it's only been out for a day here, so give me a break. We'll be able to figure it out. The comparator compares two input signals and makes a determination as to whether or not, what to do with the output signal. So the input on the comparator is the side where the arrow starts from, the same as you would expect it to be on a repeater. And then the second input is either side. It doesn't matter which side. So the side then becomes the input. And then the output is where this single torch nub is. Now, what the comparator does is it compares the two input values against each other and makes a determination which one is higher. And then, based on that determination, it decides whether or not redstone signal can pass through the comparator or not. So, if the redstone signal coming into the comparator is greater than or equal to the redstone signal coming in to compare against, then the redstone signal will continue down the line. Now, if it's not, then it doesn't. So, more redstone signal continues. Not more redstone signal, it doesn't continue. So, again, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess this could be used to do math, and I'm sure a great number of other things, but right offhand, I'm not positive what I would use this for in a survival world. So I'm not sure about that yet. I'm sure it's got its uses, but for now, I'm not positive what they would be in a survival world. Again, for adventure map makers and for like redstone map makers, special map makers, and things like that, I'm sure this is going to be a godsend. But for me, I don't know. This is the last one, the trapped chest. The trapped chest has a slightly different appearance. It's got a slightly red. Let me turn on daytime again. It's a little easier to see at day. It's got a slightly red outline around its lock, and when you open it, it sends a redstone signal down the line. So you can see here the particles are emitting off of that first redstone line. The patch note says that when two people are accessing the chest, then it emits, you know, a power of redstone with power 2. I'm still getting used to saying that with the new redstone system. So redstone with power 2. Yeah, I haven't tested that, but I assume it works. So this could be used for making traps. That's the advantage to that. So with these new deals, these new things, you know, I'd like to try to build an automatic farm. With the day-night sensor, I'd like to have a farm that once a day automatically harvests something. I'll probably use like sugarcane. So once a day I want to automatically harvest my sugarcane and then put it into a chest. So it's not a completely complicated system per se. It's not something you couldn't do now, but I want to see how these systems work together. So I'm going to put together something, and I'll get back to you in a moment. Alright, that didn't take me terribly long. These systems aren't as complicated, and they work really well together. So here's what I came up with. This is not the smallest, not the most cost efficient, but this is a way that we can use a lot of these systems together, some with the old, some with the new. So here's a light detector, which is detecting sunlight. It's passing redstone signal, which is going into this comparator, comparing whether or not this is, comparing that against 15, the redstone block value, which it's fine, it's 15 because it's daylight. Which that'll power these two redstone lines. This is an old school rising edge pulse limiting detector, and that will pass into a redstone repeater. I use this just to ensure that we have a 4-tick delay or a 4-tick power, so that we can power the pistons and make sure we get make sure that the sugarcane, if they bounce off the wall, they have something to bounce against before they fall into the water. This is just an old school piston wall design. The lever's only there for testing purposes and is not part of the system. So this activates the piston wall, which then knocks all the sugarcane off. They fall into the water. The water pushes them into this iron railing here, the iron fence, which then falls into this one and then scoots them across. It's important to push them against this iron fence, because if you don't, they might be, over on that side, or they might be over on that side, and the hopper only picks up things from the middle. You can actually get things resting on the side edge of the hopper. If I can throw one in the right place. There we go. See, I got one there. But once you get one there, here's the issue. Once you get one of those items there, every additional item that gets anywhere close to it will just stack with it. So you can see I'm not getting any in the hopper now. They're all going into that stack of sugarcane. So that's an issue. You want to make sure everything goes into the hopper or gets brushed right past it. If it's not going in, you want it out and away. So we want running into this iron fence to make sure they're in the middle, which will run them into the hopper. I also have them being brushed off of the hopper in the event that for some reason they don't go into the hopper. Maybe the hopper or the chest is full. I want them just go out of the way. Maybe even stick a cactus down here to kill any extra drop loots. Maybe push that into, I don't know, something else. Another hopper, I don't know, whatever. But this hopper, I'll dig out this block so you can see, it's attached to the chest, which is where our output will go. So, pretty simple system. It's based on the falling edge of the light. So, when the goes from nighttime to daytime. So we'll set time like that. Nope, time set. I did it backwards. There we go. And then we'll time set day. And redstone activates, pistons go, sugarcane activates, all goes into the hopper, all makes it into the chest. Just to be clear, no sugarcane on me, there's none on top of the hopper, there's none in that hole. Just get in that hole, get on top of the hopper. You can see I'm not picking up any sugarcane. There's none anywhere, it all went into the hopper, all went into the chest. So, nice easy system, it activates once a day, very lag minimal. No need for block update detectors now for automatic sugarcane farms. Yes, you're still going to have this issue where they don't make it into the water. But, that is not a big deal when you're harvesting your entire sugarcane once a day. You're going to have way more sugarcane in your chest than you can ever use. So I do recommend that cactus to kill your runoff. But once the chest and the hopper are full, you just want the rest getting destroyed. You don't want it lagging your server or your single player world. So, anyway, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how some of these new systems can be used in an actual survival gameplay, not just for map makers. I'm very excited to see this come to Minecraft, so I hope you are too. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Mondef, and I'll see you next time.